Welcome back to the Notary Podcast hosted by me, Daniel C. Lewis. And we just love doing this each and every week. And this week, we got a very special guest speaker, Lora Jarrett, an entrepreneur, a notary entrepreneur known across the country, known for the mock trial. So, hey, let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. Cue the music. Welcome back to the Notary Podcast hosted by me, Daniel C. Lewis, and I am so happy that you're here today. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. We love doing this each and every week. And this week, we have the legendary Lora Jarrett. And if you don't know Lora, you should know Lora. She is known as the originator of the Notary Mock Trial. She has put on the Notary Mock Trial, I believe, the last 2 or 3 years for the National Notary Association. She has put it on for the Maryland Notary Day right there at Prince George College. I had the opportunity to work with Lora on each of those. Lora has her associate's degree from Thomas Nelson Community College and her bachelor's of business administration from Everett University. Lora has been known, she's been a regional manager in the insurance world. Lora is also, for the notaries out there, she was the onboarding specialist for Notarize. In fact, Lora was within the first 100 notaries to be commissioned to do remote online notary services in the United States. She has conducted over 1,000 remote online notarizations. And she, like I said, she's the originator of mock trial, and she has been featured in the Virginia Style magazine. You got to check her out. She has a great spread in there. You got to definitely check her out in the Virginia Style magazine. How you doing, Lora? Hopefully I'm covering everything.
I'm great. I just want to acknowledge that our group of notaries were the first 100 in the country to become commissioned as remote online notaries.
So you've seen a lot out there in the notary world.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Well, can you tell me, how did your journey begin into the notary profession? What inspired you to become a notary?
I worked for over 30 years in the field of insurance doing marketing. And when my mother became ill, I knew that I had to redesign employment as I knew it. And someone told me about actually doing loan signings, and I started investigating these loan signings and notaries going to homes. And from there, I gathered enough information to, in January of 2013, start structuring my company to become a notary, taking classes, made contact with Carol Ray, a Notary to Pro, and she was very instrumental in sharing information with me. Then there was Bryce with her Virginia Notary Public classes. And I just continued on finding ways to learn and grow, introduced to the National Notary Association, and I obtained as much information as I could from them about learning how to become a great notary. And that was my focus, not just being a notary, but being a great notary and confident about what I was doing. So it was that trail of trying to find out how to do my job, take care of my mom, and be able to still have some type of career as I I was gonna say, as I know it, being when you're on the road forever, it's very difficult when a loved one becomes ill.
Yeah.
Try to continue to take care of them.
Well, what are some of the other biggest challenges you faced when you first started your business as a notary entrepreneur?
My mind always thinks perfection, and I'm like, I want to be the perfect notary. I want to make sure all of my documents are notarized correctly. And I will never forget my very first notarization. And I thought, oh, I'm just going to die. Because I was like, oh, I want to make sure I do a good job. It was with a really professional firm. And so I called Carol and I said, Carol, I have this opportunity to do this notarization. I don't know if I can make it. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I said, I just feel like, I feel really, she said, just breathe, just breathe. But like I said, I wanted to not just be a commissioned notary. I wanted to do a really great job for the people that come and trust their documents to me. I wanted to be professional. I wanted to be precise, and I wanted to make a difference. So Carol was so gracious. I never forget that signing was like 9 o'clock at night, and she stayed with me through the entire process. And it was like 10 o'clock at night before we finished it. But just to make me feel comfortable that you can do this. So for me, it has always been that desire to really make sure I get it right the first time, that I learn. Education was key. Uh, Constantly reading to make sure that I understood what I needed to do.
Yeah. What I know you offer remote online notarization. What other services do you offer as a traditional notary or remote online services? What type of services do you offer?
I do inspections as well. I also offer one-on-one with services to anyone looking to become a notary. As of right now, I have 2 people I'm working with. And I like the one-on-one approach because once I realize that you're really serious about what you want to do, it allows me that opportunity to go at the pace of the individual instead of trying to figure out in an entire classroom setting how to structure it to make sure that everyone gets what they need.
Yeah. How do you think the notary profession as a whole has changed over the years?
Well, when you think about what the traditional notarizations were and how we looked forward to getting the calls, going out, notarizing, and now we've got remote online notarizations that have been introduced, and then there's iPen and and others. So I believe it has evolved a lot, and that is even more of a reason why people need to become educated.
Yeah.
You need to understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. And you need to ask those important questions before you notarize and not after. So it has evolved a lot. The way we do business, the way we even build our businesses. Many of us, especially after COVID, have had to take a look at what business is going to look like for us going forward. And I know for myself, I've even had to make some changes and say, okay, I need to focus more here. And for me, I would like to do more remote online notarizations. I have to make sure that I am up to date on all of the changes. I mean, just the changes in rules and regulations from state to state have been so varied. So another reason why you have to stay educated so that you can know what's going on in your state especially before you try to cross the lines of trying to
Yeah.
notarize in another state
Yeah. Yeah. You're right about
or
that.
country for that matter.
Yep. Yep. What key strategies have contributed to your success as a notary entrepreneur? What would you say contributed to your success?
I would go back to those days of marketing and insurance. And I remember when I started out in business, all of the valuable nuggets of information that my managers have shared with me along the way. And they always said, first of all, you never let someone else take your power. You own your power, the power to learn, the power to be the best you can be. From that, I was always taught, you be a professional even when others are not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for me, even in the notary world today, I am determined to be that top-notch professional and to be ethical,
Yep.
and to, when I go out for business, make sure that I'm doing it in a way that I can be proud of myself, I
Yeah.
can sleep at night, but most of all, that I am delivering the services that my client is not only expecting, but deserving of.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you share a time when you handled a particular challenging notarization or business situation and how you resolved it?
Well, I think one of the most challenging ones was when I handled a person that was in the news and I was asked to notarize their document. And I thought, when I walked into the room, there were all these people in there. And I thought, oh no, you got to keep a straight face. You can't fall apart now. But I was uncomfortable because there were all these people in the room and they wanted to watch this notarization. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, why? So I told him, I said, excuse me for just a moment. And I left because I went out and I called Carol. I said, Carol, okay, I don't know. I might be in trouble here. And she, so we talked through the situation and she said, no, don't worry, you got this. So, I went back in and I said, excuse the interruption, because I never even touched their documents. Just seeing all those people, I thought, okay, I got to go out and breathe. So it was and I was fairly new
Yeah.
at the time. So I thought to myself, I'm probably supposed to have just stayed here and showed my vote of confidence. But at the moment, I realized even later that was a great decision for me because it allowed me to breathe, go back in, and claim that power and that confidence to get that notarization done.
Yes.
But that was really a difficult one for me, and it wasn't the difficulty in the document; it was just seeing all of these people, and I guess people of status. And I'm like, well, where did they all come from?
Yeah. Yeah. I hear that. Well, let me ask you, what advice would you give to a new or aspiring notaries looking to build a successful business?
Well, I think they first have to recognize why they want to be a notary. Some notaries are hearing that they can make all this money. They've talked to others who have encouraged them to become notaries, so that they can make uh, a lot of money, and they see the get rich quick
Yes.
focus in mind, and that's not good. You have to be dedicated to wanting to be a commissioned notary.
Yeah.
You have to be dedicated to wanting to grow and learn. And I tell even the people I work with one-on-one, you need to read, you need to understand, you need to
Yeah.
be comfortable with the different types of notarizations. Because even though we may be comfortable, we all at times experience something that is new and different. So if you're comfortable with the basics and then you introduced to something different and unusual, then you have avenues such as the NNA or National Notary Association hotline. You have your fellow notaries that can help you out, but learn the basics and understand what it is you want to do. Don't worry about how much money you're going to make. If you study and understand well, the opportunities to grow financially will come. If you start out with that, I want to get rich quick and fast, then you're going to find yourself probably making a lot of mistakes. And if you don't focus on education and attending conferences or other, as in your case, meetups, then you're not going to have that knowledge. You have to stay abreast of the state laws and changes. If you don't, you're just a notary out there waiting for a moment when you're just going to be in the news for something that you've done, and that's not a comfortable feeling. So just to sum it all up, I would say educate yourself, find the connections you need to grow to become the best notary you can, and then you can go forth and look at how to build the financial part of your business.
So let me ask you this, because I know we have a lot of seasoned notaries that listen to this podcast. How do you stay motivated and continue to grow your business over time?
For me, I can only be me. I don't worry about what the rest of the world is doing. I decide what I'm going to focus on and to be the best I can be. The mock trial is a perfect example. I have worked on this mock trial for years. And I've never introduced it until a few years ago. And it originated from my world of insurance, where we used to do mock trials at conferences. And I thought, why can't I just bring this over even into the notary world? So I wrote my plays, and I would sit there and look at them, and I would never forget Deshana Scott. She used to tell me, you really need to introduce that to the National Notary as a class, a session. I'm like, I don't know. And she kept pushing, and I finally did it. So I'm excited about the fact that it has gained so much interest, and others are looking at what I bring to the table. I'm even excited because as of January, I'm going to take the show on the road. So I will be venturing into different areas, actually offering the mock trial. In January, I actually plan to offer it in the Richmond area, Varina to be exact. And then each month I'm looking at a different location. It is my passion and my focus being a more creative way to help notaries learn about how to better notarize, the consequences of when you don't notarize your documents properly, and a way to learn hands-on, because not everybody can sit there and read and always pick up. So it's a great creative hands-on opportunity.
If you ever get a chance and you see Lora is featuring the mock trial in your area, you don't want to miss that. It's hard to describe. It's just so good. It's a great way to learn about just what you said, what can happen. Their mock trials are fantastic, well written, fantastic. Let me ask you this, Lora. what is the one thing you wish you knew when you started your notary business? You wish you knew.
I wish I knew more. I want to say true professional notaries, and more networking with those professional notaries. When I started my business, I knew Bryce, I knew Carol, and I knew a few others along the way. But when I started my business, I felt like I was kind of the Lone Ranger out there, only because I didn't understand how to really network into the notary world. And I felt like with that, it kind of hindered my ability to grow the way I wanted to or could have. I sometimes, and just like now, having knowledge with, say, you and some other notaries I know now as go-tos, it would have just, I probably would have structured my business differently and probably expanded it in a different direction, if, had I really just kind of embraced other notaries and tried to kind of find that networking group, which is something I do encourage others to really do now. You've got to network. You've got to find notaries that have your common interests in mind, that want you to grow, that want to see you do things correctly. And you've got to embrace them and the opportunities that may come your way. I look today with doing the mock trials and the notaries that I invite to help me out. You're helping me with my mock trials, but you're also helping me in the fact that I've got these other notaries I can network with, I can ask questions, I can bounce thoughts, and that's
Huge.
like gold. Yes.
Any final words for the notaries out there?
To the notaries, I say, do this work because you love it. Don't do it just for the money. If you do it just for the money, it becomes any other job and you won't enjoy it. Sometimes we face many challenges in trying to help people get their documents notarized. And sometimes people can be very difficult. But if you love what you do and your desire is to help people, you will make a difference. And that's what we do as notary publics. We are servants who make a difference in the lives of other people. We help them get their documents to the finish line to accomplish the goals they need. So please make sure that you are commissioned to notarize documents for reasons that are, I say, for me, I am actually I'm a helper. I like to help people.
Yeah.
So it's an extension of me looking to help people. So I say, make sure you want to help people.
Yes. Very, very good. Yeah, you're right. That's what you're there for, to help and assist people. Lora, I want to thank you so much for taking out the time. I know you're one of the most busiest notaries out there doing mock trials, working and actually helping people. So I want to thank you again for being here on our podcast. I'm probably going to be hitting you up and asking you to come back. And maybe we can even do a mock trial on this podcast. That would be fantastic. In fact, I'm putting that down, that we should be doing a mock trial, a virtual mock trial on here. We definitely got to put that together. That is That's a thought that just popped in my head, and I think that would be awesome. People
Well,
can
in
pay attention to
actuality, Daniel, that is on my list to create a virtual version of the mock trial. I've already got the ideas in motion, but I wanted to first kind of get out into different locations and
Yeah.
introduce it into our different areas. So hopefully, my target is before end of the year to introduce that virtual version of it for those who just can't necessarily get to one that I'm offering, or I can't get to them, but it is on the horizon.
Oh, count me in on that. Yes, I want to be in. I'll help sponsor that. Excuse me. Count me in. Okay. So I'm going to tell the notaries, if you like this podcast, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. We love doing this for you each and every week. Thank you again, Laura. We're going to have you back for the mock trial, hopefully soon. And notaries, see you soon.
Right, bye.